Welcome everyone to Everyday Passions. It's the show where my guests share something that they're passionate about that has impacted the lives of their clients, their customers. Today, my guest is Aurelia Acosta. I love her name. It has that certain ring to it. Welcome, Aurelia.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Yvonne.
Oh, you're so welcome. And I am Yvonne A. Jones, your host, and my website is 50andwisercoaching.com. So Aurelia is a certified health coach with decades of experience in the nutrition, health, and wellness industry. She assists people to create their best health based on their unique bio-individuality. I really like that. It differentiates you, Aurelia, from everyone else who is doing the same thing. I do like that. And one of the things that I also liked about you that you shared with me is that you help your coaches, your coachees, when you're coaching, you help your clients to listen to their bodies. So many of us ignore that, but listen to their bodies and respond with proper diet, nutrition, and movement. And all of these encompass a complete balanced or a more complete balanced approach to their overall health, wellness habits, and lifestyle. And really, really appreciate the differentiation that you have set yourself as opposed to other health coaches. But before we go into any more about finding out about your passion, I'd love for you to share with our guests and with me something personal that we don't know about you that we would love to know so that we can get to know you better.
Well, when I say that I have decades of experience in health coaching or in the health industry, I actually do. I don't want to say how many because I don't want to give away my age. But I will tell you that many years ago, I lived in Italy, and that is where I really started to pay attention to my health. I had such severe problems that it prompted my return to the States. But before that, I took a little detour to France. And that's when I got really sick and they were about to intervene with surgery that was totally inappropriate and uncalled for. And I decided I would come back home, and I did. So all of these experiences, like with everyone else, including yourself, I'm sure, Yvonne, led me to really get into nutrition, health, and the human body.
Thank you for sharing that. So you lived in Italy, then you went off to France, and that was where you got even worse, huh?
Yes.
Isn't that interesting? Thank you so much for sharing that. What I find interesting in that is that your discovery actually started when you got very ill. So that will segue right into my first question, really, to tell us, what was it? Was there a particular event or time in your life that really created that awareness?
So the problem started because when I went to Italy, of course, their main food or one of their staples is pasta. And this was many, many years ago. So we didn't know about gluten intolerance. Glyphosate had only been on the scene for a few years, maybe about 20 years or so. And in Italy at the time, they didn't use it. So I started to develop an intolerance. And this is exactly what I mean by intolerance. Your body gets so much of it that it can no longer tolerate it. But many of the doctors then and there didn't know what it was. And then when I came back home on that emergency flight, which cost me $700 because I came back rushing home, I was so sick. I came to this country. I didn't have insurance, which already put me at a very gross disadvantage because you start going to one doctor and then you get testing here and then they send you to the other doctor and the other doctor. And then by the time everything is over, you get a bill from everyone, including the little mice and rats that were in the building, right? And then you get really sick because you can't, how are you going to pay for all of this? And remember, I was moving from that country to this country, so I didn't have a job when I came back. To this day, nobody at the time had been able to diagnose what happened then, but because I did my own research, I know exactly what was going on. And it was also carb overload. And this is where I really started to make the connection that the diet had something to do with it. And one day I was out on sales calls and I walked into a chiropractor's office and I saw something that said, if you have heartburn or all of these digestive issues, we need to talk. And so as happens often when I was doing prospecting door to door, I ended up becoming his client and he set me on the path to discover what works for me and my body. That was many years ago.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I appreciate the distinction you also make about intolerance, because a lot of times we have a negative effect to something, to some kind of food, and we assume it's allergies, but it's not always an allergic reaction. It is because we have become intolerant. So thank you for clarifying that as well.
Okay.
So now that you made this discovery for yourself, by yourself, until you connected with this chiropractor and you continued your research, how have you used this research to help your clients, your existing clients, and individuals in the past?
So the fact that I talk about it and bring it to people's attention, they now have it in their field of awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And if they feel called or led, or if they're interested, some people are not interested, they're not ready yet to embark on the health journey because it is a long and winding road. No one has the direct answers. They may have something that can contribute here or there, but ultimately it's up to you to put it all together. And one of the most important things that you can do, in my point of view, is work with a health coach that has gone through their own challenges. And just about every health coach that I know, and I know quite a few, has had their own challenges that have, if you will, invited them and even seduced them, which I use as a way of coaxing very gently and very softly the information from you, or coaxing and seducing you, inviting you, hey, take a look over here. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
like a little kid that's pulling on the mom's skirt or dress or pants. Hey, mom, hey, that's what our body is always doing. It is always inviting us to pay attention to it. Sometimes it will slap you with a 2x4. Sometimes
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just a gentle touch, a little rash, a little pimple, something. But that is, and there's no but here, and that is always an invitation for you to listen to your body and to pay attention.
Aurelia, that's so profound. And you mentioned the fact that there's no one size, well, you alluded to it, there's no one size fits all. It's all individual. And so what works for one person, because my body may be made up a different way, and what works for one person may not work for another person. So how do you help your clients to kind of discover what will work for them?
So I take my clients through a series of exercises,
Mm-hmm.
challenges, suggestions, and then they come back and they report to me, hey, I ate this, I did this, I tried this, I ate it this hour, I kept a journal, and this is how I felt. And we start to unpack that because there is a lot of information. And by the way, these are the exact same things that I do for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I am so much in tune with my body that when any little thing is off, I notice it. And sometimes it's something that is physical, something that can be taken care of. I'm cold. Oh, I forgot I turned the heater off. And it has been cold here in Southeast Texas lately.
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes it's like, wait a minute, I'm cold. What am I missing? And then what I do and what I suggest everybody do is go in and ask your body. I have conversations with my body every morning and I journal. And you may wonder, so how does your body communicate with you? Something will come into your field of awareness. You'll think about something. Oh, that's right. Your friend may call you and you'll be talking about something and they say, hey, what about this? Or you're going through Facebook and you see a post about something. Oh my gosh. And then you research that and then you apply it and then things get better. And this is a lifelong journey.
Mm-hmm.
This, Yvonne, as you know, since you too are a coach, is a process.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Abraham says you never get it done and you can't get it wrong. And so really what we are seeking and what we could be doing is asking questions to get more awareness and more awareness. It's never a, how do you do this here? Oh, okay. No, you've got tomorrow. Tomorrow something else will happen. Something else will come up. Um, there's something new that we've discovered about the human body. You know, this whole thing of the science is settled is, in my point of view, ludicrous. The science isn't settled. We are just now at the very tip of the iceberg discovering how beautifully and divinely created and designed our body is. And so before you ask me, I'll tell you what sets my heart on fire, cracks it open, and just blesses me and puts me in a state of orgasmic, delicious bliss is learning about the precious human body. There is no piece of machinery, no computer, no nothing that is more divinely, however you envision the divine, or perfectly designed than the human body. And yet, so many of us neglected. Me too. I'm not perfect. I'm on this journey right there with you and right with my clients. And I share with my clients, this happened, that happened. A long time ago, this happened to me. I understand you. I get you. I see you. I feel your pain. I sense your frustration. It's my desire to help you always at the highest level. And if I can't help you and I can't contribute to you, I'll send you to my whole network of fellow coaches or people that do all sorts of things to help bring you back into balance, to help you feel better and improve your health, one baby step at a time.
Mm-hmm. Very good. And as far as the body being divinely created, and humans don't have as much knowledge as they think they do about how the body works, I am totally in agreement with that. The
Yes.
psalmist David said, our bodies are wonderfully made. And
Yes.
he at that time had no idea, to the extent that scientists have discovered now, but there's still so much that they have not.
That is right.
But one of the things that I took away from what you just said is the fact that it's a journey.
Yes.
And this is why short-term things, quick fixes don't work.
You got it.
And it's
Yes.
also interesting that I'm sure you have seen the medical field. They have changed their thoughts about how certain things affect our bodies over the years. One day, for example, you're told, oh, you can have 2 eggs per day or what have you, and it's okay. Then a few months later, you may hear that, oh no, eggs are dangerous for you and you shouldn't have them. So it is inconsistent. But if you
Right.
continue on the journey and discover what works for each one of us, if each one of us do that, then we are assuming control over what or how our body is going to be treated, how we are going to treat our body, and hopefully how our body will react to certain things.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of it, Yvonne, that if it doesn't react well, we've got other choices. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of people want to reduce the divinely vast, immense, infinite body to either this or that. Well, no, neither of those choices work for me. I'm going to look for what does work for me. But we
Mm-hmm.
have been so trained and entrained, which is separate from training, to believe what the man in the white coat says, or the priest, or the pastor, or the parent, or the spouse, or the doctor. Wait a minute, stop. Whose body is it? How would you feel if I came to you and I said, hey, you've got to eat vegetarian? Some people choose that. That's fine if it works for them. But some people don't. Most people don't. But if I just came to you and you said, hey, Aurelia, I want to lose some, I want to drop some, I want to release weight. Well, Yvonne, you've got to stop eating every animal product, everything. Stop. Well, you would run for the hills. But what if I said to you, well, let's look at what you're eating. And have you paid attention to how you feel? Oh, I feel sleepy after I have a lot of carbs at lunch. Oh, when I eat chocolate at night, because I love chocolate, I can't sleep. That's the caffeine in the chocolate. And your body's telling you, don't give me this because I'll be tossing and turning and you must rest. So these are all things that we look at and unpack in coaching. This is not my agenda. I know what's good for my body and I'm also still discovering it. And I know the general guidelines, but within those guidelines, some things may work for you and others, even though they're good, may not work for you. Hippocrates said, let thy food be thy medicine. And when doctors study and finish their studies, they take an oath. It's called the Hippocratic Oath. And most of them are violating that with a lot of the things that that they are prescribing. But the problem is that we allow it. We are lazy. I'm not putting fault. I'm saying things the way they are. And I include myself in this. We are lazy. We have given over our power and our health and our body, which again, in my point of view, is the most precious thing you have, your body and choice. Those two go hand in hand. And we're saying here, doctor, you go into the doctor and you say, I've got this, this, and this. Fix me. Well, you know what? I've had to fire several doctors because I asked questions and they didn't appreciate it. And they were not at the level that I required or desired to work with. So when I go to see a doctor, I look for someone that I can partner with. And I will tell you, I've been to 2 top functional medicine doctors in my area. And every time I've gone in to see them, I've gone in with a pad and paper because whatever they tell me, I'm like a sponge. I soak it up and write it down and do my own research. And then I go in and say, well, remember you talked about this and this? What about this? And often they'll be like, I hadn't thought of that. That's very good. Because your health must be created. And what's required is that we find somebody to partner with. Not you tell me, not I tell you. We work together. And then we facilitate, which means to make easy, healing for my body. No one heals you. Our bodies, in their divine design, heal themselves. I can't heal you. I do have the gift of facilitating more ease. I have several modalities that I use for that, but I don't heal you. The divine of your understanding intervenes with your body and your body opens up to receive. In that moment, you are open to receive and you're in direct communion with the absolute and the divine of your understanding. And you're ready to receive. That's not me. That's not you, Yvonne. That's your precious body. And so my intent is for 1 million people to learn to listen to their body, not what Aurelia says. Question everything. Even question what Aurelia says and question yourself. Because a lot of times we say, well, you know what? I feel really bad. What did you eat? Well, I ate cheese and this and that, but I always eat that. Okay. You've always eaten that up until now, and now you're getting a different symptom, which means maybe you are starting to develop an intolerance to that food and you need to change your diet.
Right. And we could have a long conversation about this, but we are almost out of time. No, it's a point that's really well taken because many of us older, like myself, find now that there are things we used to enjoy eating.
Exactly.
And our bodies are changing. Or my body's changing because now I've developed an intolerance for certain things that I used to enjoy. And
Yes.
sometimes, as you just said, I can have a small amount of it and I don't have a reaction. But if I go overboard, then I get a reaction because
Right.
now my body is saying, okay, you have just a bit too much of that.
Yes,
So now I'm going to remind you that you need to stop.
exactly. That's
So
exactly what our body's telling us.
exactly. So we really have to listen, and you have kind of drummed that. You have emphasized that the importance of really listening to our body and taking control, taking back the control. Yes, we can take the advice of those who have studied further, but still we need to examine for ourselves what's right for each one of us. So Aurelia, you are so passionate about this, and I know there are individuals who might want to take advantage of your passion and learn some more. So how can we get in touch with you?
So my Facebook page is Nutrilicious by Oralia. It's Nutri, N-U-T-R-I,
Mhm.
Licious, L-I-C-O-U-S, by Oralia. And my name is not difficult. It's just like it, you spell it just like you say it. All the vowels are short except for the O, Oralia. And think of rah, rah, the woman that is here to give me a rah, rah for my body. And the other way is, the other thing is my website. So I'm redoing it. You know, that's another thing that's a journey. You don't just do it and forget it. Things change. The algorithm changes. Google changes the metrics. And so you redo it in it. I'm in the process of redoing part of that and starting to do blogging. But you can go to get, G-E-T, fit, htx.biz. That's get fit, htx.biz, and then / and you talks about the new program that I have coming up on February 9th so that you can design and create a new you. Now, someone recently said to me, there's nothing wrong with the current me. I like that, the me. I don't need a new me. Okay, you can improve. So you can improve or design a new you. Either way, the body's changing, times are changing, stress levels have changed. Life
Mhm.
as we know it has changed. And what are we doing to continue to create ease for our bodies? That's where the word dis-ease comes from. Dis-ease, lack of ease. You see, our bodies are meant to flow and to move, not to get worse as we get older and break and fall apart. That's a lie. I'm here to tell you that's a lie. Our bodies are meant to get stronger as we grow. And yes, you don't want to do some of the things that you did when you were younger. I don't. I don't want to party and stay up until 3 and 4 in the morning. I'm in bed by 10. That's another important
Good for
thing.
you.
Your sleep religiously,
Mm.
religiously. TV is
Developing a
off, light on.
pattern.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, we are going to have to stop though. I know we could go on this and I love the conversation.
I do too.
But our listeners, out of respect for their time, we are going to probably have to have a part 2. How is that?
That's wonderful. Thank you. I would love that.
Excellent. So Aurelia, I really want to thank you today for what you have shared and to let our listeners know that the recording of this will be on my Facebook profile, on my wall. We will both be sharing it in our groups and on our pages. And it's finally housed on YouTube, my channel at youtube.com/Yvonne A. Jones. So thank you so much for watching and listening with us live. And those of you who will be watching the replay, we appreciate you as well. And thank you. Aurelia, it's been fun. It's been informational. And there's no question that this you're truly passionate about. And this is what I love about my guests, because every guest who has been on this show, they are so passionate about what they do, and you are no exception. So thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye now.